What is the number one key to becoming an excellent teacher? To being the very best teacher you can be, which means providing the very best learning experience for students. You have to know the content, obviously. You have to build strong, positive relationships with students, obviously. But the key is, without a doubt, the ability to stop, reflect, and think about what you're doing, why you're doing it, how things have gone, and what you can do differently. Well, basically what we're describing is coaching. And we can actually turn to AI to provide some coaching for us. Because if we think about it, what a good coach does is ask questions. The good coach doesn't say, okay, next time do this, do this, do this. But to help you think and to reflect and to consider and to make decisions. And the AI can do that very well. So let's start with prompt number 1. I have a lesson plan. I think it's pretty good. So you've presented a lesson. After I implement the plan, I want to reflect on it to determine its quality and the delivery. What are some things I should be thinking about? So basically, you can think about a lot of things, but what types of questions will help you to consider strengths, weaknesses, and potential improvements for the next time? So let's start there and drop it into my ChatGPT. Some things to think about. Here are reflection questions you can use. They are grouped in design, delivery, engagement, assessment, and improvement, which is a pretty nice, well-rounded set of categories of topics to consider. And we've got a lot of questions here. Now, what you could do is you could prepare a little response to each of these. Write out an answer for everything and feed it back into the AI. We're going to do something a bit more simple here because, frankly, this is something you want to do regularly, and nobody's got the time to now go write a full reflection paper on something. And maybe you do, but most people don't. All right, so what we're going to do, we've looked at these, we say, you know what, these really are good questions. There's a lot of good things to think about here. Were all the students actively engaged? How did I respond to questions or misconceptions? And so forth and so forth. We're going to simplify this with prompt number 2. Prompt number 2 basically says, okay, good stuff. Make it into a survey with Likert type scores, on a scale of 1 to 5. And for example, here is a potential question, but only give me 2 per category. Now, obviously, the more questions you're responding to, the more thorough the feedback is going to be. But this is going to give us a good example of how this process is useful. So, give me my Likert type, scale of 1 to 5, but only 2 per category. And what just happened there? All right, let me try that again. And copy and go. So it's going to do just that. And it's going to say, okay, here's all the different categories. Here's 2 questions per on a scale of 1 to 5. What do you think of this? The lesson objectives were clear and achievable. All right, on a scale of 1 to 5, do you agree with that or not? And we'll do that for all of the questions. And I don't know where it just went. Let's try that again. There we go. I think we broke ChatGPT. Hi, David Bowman here. If you are enjoying this video and these techniques, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, if you are a school administrator or a PD lead and you're looking for some support for your staff to make the most effective use of AI within the learning environment, feel free to give us a call or send us an email. We'd love to talk to you about how we can work together to make sure that your staff is using AI effectively to meet the learning needs of kids. Now, back to the video. Okay. It happens. Here we go. That was a little unexpected. All right, so we've got 2 items per category, and we've got top 4. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply prepare a response to each of those. And then I'm going to ask the AI to generate some feedback based on the response that I give it. Now I notice that there are 14, so let me add 13. We're going to give that one a 4, and 14, we're going to give that one a 5. I think I've got the right count now. Yes, 14 questions. So I've got my responses. It's question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. But at the end of it, here's what I want to know. On the basis of these scores, what are some potential strategies for improving the lesson and the delivery? And provide some overall recommendations as well. Because that's really what we're trying to get to here, right? So let's see what we get. And we'll cross our fingers that this time there are no glitches. That is real life in action right there. Okay. Based on your responses, etc., etc. Okay. Some good stuff, clarity of objectives, etc., but there's room to refine delivery, pacing, and so forth. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to give me a little interpretation. Things I did well, some things I might think about doing differently next time, some areas per category to think about, and some recommendations based on the information that I fed to it, and finally, some overall recommendations. Take all this stuff we just said. Here's the point. Here's the overall thought. Refine delivery and pacing and clarity. Enhance accessibility through pre-teaching supports, etc., etc. Now, we've got a little bit more to do here. And for that, we are going to turn to prompt number 4. And that's what it is. Here's what it is. If we've got some things that come out of the overall recommendations to consider, what we can do is we can say, okay, I agree. I need to increase engagement equity. All right. Not really sure how I'm going to do that, though. What are some options for doing that? What are some strategies that I can consider? And that's what the final question does for us. What are some strategies I can use for, and then it's going to be one of the areas in the overall recommendation. So I'm going to pop that in there, and I'm going to swap out for increasing engagement equity. All right. You see, I need to do it. I agree. It needs to be better. But what are some ways that I can do it? What are some ideas and strategies I can apply if I feel they are appropriate according to my judgment and my understanding of the instructional context? And, all right, here we go. Lots of great stuff. Here are ways that we can actually do it. So what we have done is we basically had the AI serve in the role of an instructional coach to help us think through what we have done, evaluate it, and generate some ideas for moving forward, because that ultimately is what makes an amazing teacher. I hope you found these techniques useful. Take care.